Hello, tubers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I forgot to play the intro. Let's get it
Market
on.
Watch Wednesday, making money while we sleep, riding the roller coaster together, stacking stocks and coins each week. Market Watch Wednesday, making money while we sleep, riding the roller coaster together, stacking stocks and coins each week. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da da. Ba 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 da ba. Watch it watch. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da da. Ba 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 da ba. Watch it watch Wednesday, making money while we sleep, riding the roller coaster together, stacking stocks and coins each week. Market Watch Wednesday, making money while we sleep, riding the roller coaster together, stacking stocks and coins each week. Ba 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 da ba da da ba da da. Ba 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 da ba ba da da. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da da. Ba 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 da ba 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 ba.
Hello. Excuse me. What's going on with my voice? Hello, tubers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And welcome to Coopersthaiadventure Market Watch Wednesday. And today's title is Market Manipulation, Bitcoin MicroStrategy, What Next? And I liked, like I said, to do my research. And I want to take you back about 2 months ago on Bloomberg. Michael Saylor was on there from MicroStrategy. And he was asked about the fluctuations in crypto, Bitcoin in particular, about this 4-year cycle and 70% retracements and things like that in crypto winter. And he said to the presenter that the 4-year cycle's dead. And I sort of took it with a pinch of salt. Brooke took it with a pinch of salt. Everybody took it with a pinch of salt. Come on, this has been happening, for three for three bear markets. It always happens, at the end of a year after the halving in Bitcoin, it drops. And he's like, nope, it ain't gonna happen. And at the time, I said to Brooke, I'm not so sure he's right. And then you had people like Tommy Lee come out on TV saying the same thing. The only person that was saying any different was Kathy Woods and from ARK Invest. And I've never put in a lot of credence in what Kathy Woods says. She's very often wrong. But recently, I'm starting to think that maybe Saylor's right. And why do I think that he's right? Well, I mean, we hit 126,000 per Bitcoin, and then it dropped down to in the 70s, and then it bounced back up way over 100, and then it's dropped down to 91, and then at the weekend it drops down to 85, and now it's sitting somewhere around 87.5. But why hasn't Bitcoin dropped below 70,000? What's stopping it from dropping below 70,000? Because technically we should be right now heading out of Bitcoin season into alt season. If you go by past calendars, why hasn't that happened? What's stopping it? And this is what I'm seeing with MicroStrategy, and it all revolves around MicroStrategy, folks. No matter which way you look at it, if you look at Bitcoin, you look at altcoins, it revolves around MicroStrategy. And the reason it evolves around MicroStrategy is there's some big players. They want MicroStrategy to crash, and they want it to crash big time. That we know what JP Morgan did, Jamie Dimon. We know that two of his very big company employees now work for the indices, and they're looking at taking MicroStrategy out. Well, they couldn't do it because just last week, the NASDAQ 100 had their meeting where they discussed what new companies coming in and what new companies are going out. And that would have been a perfect telltale sign going into January 15th when MSCI decides if any company that owns more than 50% of crypto will be out of their indices. Well, MicroStrategy is still in the NASDAQ 100. They were not one of the 4 companies that were let go. So that is huge news, because now I think it's going to be even harder for them to come to the decision on January 15th that any crypto company with over 50% of crypto in their portfolio cannot be part of their indices. I think that made it a lot harder. He also ATM'd the hell out of the common stock, raised $1.3 billion, enough for 1 year and 8 months, roughly, of dividend payments for his preferred stocks. Well, during the last 2 weeks, folks, MicroStrategy bought 21,200 Bitcoin. Why did he do it? Because the MNAV is down. Why the heck did MicroStrategy buy 21,200 Bitcoin? 10,000 over 10,000 last week, 10,000 the week before. And he always announces on a Monday how much he's bought. Well, here's what I think. His average price for the cost of his Bitcoin is at $76,000. That's his average price. So with his average price being at 76,000, I think he is doing everything he can to buy as much Bitcoin as he can to stop that price going down to that 76,000 or below. That's what I think Saylor's doing. He's putting his money where his mouth is. He's not going to let there be a bear market. So every time these big whales sell, he buys the equal amount or more. That's what I'm seeing. I like looking at the charts. I like looking between the lines. I like to see what the analysts' forecasts are. And the top analysts have revised their prediction for MicroStrategy. Yes, that is true. It did happen from $650 per share to $447 per share. Well, considering it's sitting at 160 something right now, that's a nice welcome. That's a 3x from where it is right now. I don't think anybody's going to say no to a 3x from here. And then you get the likes of Tommy Lee. He was on Squawk Box just last week with a new revised prediction for Bitcoin, saying that his time frame for the price of Bitcoin is only out by 1 month. He seems to think by the end of next month, January, that Bitcoin is going to hit $180,000. Now, to me, that is way far-fetched. But maybe he knows something we don't know. The jobs data reports have been coming in, not looking good at all. The job market's down since April this year. The white-collar jobs, the blue-collar jobs, they're all down. Hardly anybody is hiring right now. And the Fed did drop the quarter point, basis point on the interest rates, which is good. However, something came out that Fed chair meeting. And one of the things that came out was that 4 out of the 10 that are on the panel that decide freeze interest rates, raise interest rates, or lower it are all in favor of another quarter basis point cut next month. Maybe that's what Tommy's looking at, because the market's saying, the betting odds are saying, But here's another thing. Since that Fed meeting, 2 people have finished their tenure, and Trump has appointed another 2 people in their place. Well, the 2 people that he's put in their place could tip the odds from 4 to 6 in favor of a rate cut. So no matter what Jerome Powell wants, he has to go with the consensus. It's a board. The board votes. What the board votes, he does. So there's a bit of macro news for you going forward. There could be another rate cut on the horizon, because the job market, like I said, is looking not very good. It really isn't. I've seen the reports, and it's been way down since April of this year. So I'm thinking MicroStrategy is doing what I said. They're buying every opportunity. They're slashing the hell out of the ATM shares, but the share price hasn't been going down in relation. Normally, when he would ATM the stock, the common shares, the share price would drop by like 5%. I'm not seeing that. As a matter of fact, MicroStrategy is up 6% this week. So it's not looking too bad going forward. And if he keeps on doing this for the next 3 to 6 weeks going into January, at some point, the whales aren't going to sell anymore. They're going to be like, this guy's, whatever we put up to sell, this guy's buying it. The price isn't going to go down. We can't buy the dip. There's not going to be a dip. And these are just my thoughts that I wanted to share with you. And about the market manipulation, where's the manipulation coming from in crypto? Well, it's the exchanges. Places like Coinbase, Robinhood. It doesn't take many to move the price of Bitcoin. And I'm willing to put my bottom dollar that there are teams of people working together saying, right, let's drop the price of Bitcoin, $5,000. We'll buy back in at 5,000, raise it back up. We just made $5,000 profit per coin. And that's happening a lot. You can see it for no reason. All of a sudden, Bitcoin drops from 91 to 85. There was no reason. There was nothing that would upset the crypto market. It didn't make any sense. But then you see the same wallets repeatedly. And I watch a Bitcoin channel on YouTube, and it's called Bitcoin Live. and you can see the wallet addresses that are selling and buying. Well, I'll be damned, it's always the same 30 to 50 wallets. And I'm like, that wallet just dropped. Now it's buying. And it's what we call the day traders. And I think there's a pool of day traders that work together and they purposely drop the price 5,000 and then buy back in, it goes back up 5,000. And then you have the whales that have been in since Bitcoin was under $1,000, and they're like, hey, I'm an instant billionaire. I might as well sell and get out of this trade. Maybe get into AI or gold or silver or something else. They made their money, and I can see them getting out, but it's drying up. You see the people with the wallets that have held Bitcoin for 10 years plus. They're now not starting to sell. If anything, they're starting to accumulate. Canada, their government pension fund, just bought a huge whack of MicroStrategy. Then you have Switzerland, doubled their bag of MicroStrategy in the last week. Doubled it, folks. Doubled it. And I think they have over, $6 billion invested in MicroStrategy now. It went from 3 billion to 6 billion. So these big people and sovereign wealth funds that are buying like crazy in MicroStrategy right now, they know something we don't know, folks. And they know the writings on the wall. They know the price is going up. And my guess is they know that the bear market is not going to happen. I said earlier in the year, I'm not seeing a divergence between altcoins and Bitcoin. I'm really not. What I'm seeing is when Bitcoin goes up, alts go up. Bitcoin goes down, alts go down. And you look every single month, that's been the case. There's an indicator, it's called Bitcoin Altcoin Indicator. And it's sitting right in the middle between Bitcoin season and altcoin season. It did move briefly towards altcoin season, but only lasted a week. And now it's sitting firmly closer towards Bitcoin season than altcoin season. So Bitcoin dropped so far for the month of December, 5% to 8%, depending on which graph you look at. And alts have done exactly the same, dropped 5 to 8%. So I'm not seeing a divergence like we did in previous bear and bull markets. I hope Saylor's right. I hope Tommy Lee is right. But again, none of this is financial advice, of course. And that is what I'd like to talk to you guys today. Were you seeing the same things that I'm seeing? Do you agree with what Saylor's doing? Selling at an MNAV so low to accrue more Bitcoin? And do you think that he's doing exactly what I think? He's trying to prevent a bear market. That's why he's spending $1 billion a week to buy as much Bitcoin as he can. Let me know in today's comments, and let's get on with the show. Starting off with the first one, Captain Action, who's a channel member, has the badge next to his name, helping to support the channel for only $2 a month. Thank you, Captain Action. Everybody else that has that badge. He says, hello, hit the like button, make Darlene smile. Yes, please. She's my wife and channel moderator. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so. It's free. It doesn't cost a penny. And if you want to join in the chat, hit the subscribe button. It's really easy. As soon as you hit it, it doesn't cost you a penny either. And wait 1 minute and you can join in on a conversation and we'll read out your comment on the live stream. That's our promise to you. Richard Woolley says, hi, Coops and I, and all good morning to you, Richard. He goes on to say, how's the weather in Tampa, Captain Action? It's freezing up here in the Panhandle. Well, I can tell you here in Thailand, 32 degrees. Loving it, loving it, loving it, as Cooper likes to say. Nomad Jack says, hey, Coop, have a great show and vacation. Yes, thank you, Jack. And thank you for being a channel member. Yes, this is our last live stream until next year because Darlene and I are going to be flying out at the end of this week, going on a cruise ship around Asia. So we're flying out to Singapore. Darlene's flying out tomorrow to go to the Philippines, pick up the kids. I'm flying out, oh my God, o'clock on Friday to meet her and the kids in Singapore airport. I'm going straight to the hotel and then going to what's it called? Universal Studios. That's the one. And then joining the cruise ship on Saturday. Michael Villa says, it's a hard game. Play what you can lose. It is a hard game. You have to have nerves of steel. You have to look 4 years out and be prepared to hold for 4 years. Because every 4 years there's a halving, which means there's less supply available to be on the market. It halves the amount of supply available from that day forward. And that's every 4th April. So if you can hold on for 4 years, as they say in Bitcoin, anybody that's held Bitcoin for 4 years has never lost any money. And I still believe in that. I still believe that in the next halving, we could be a hell of a lot higher than our all-time high of 126,000. If you go via the 30% CAGR rate, that would put us somewhere around about the $400,000 per Bitcoin mark by a year after the halving. And if governments and sovereign wealth funds start buying, like Michael Saylor was all over the Middle East, he didn't miss a single spot in the Middle East, speaking to governments and sovereign wealth funds all over the Middle East, went to Kuwait, went to Dubai, went to Saudi Arabia. He was all over the place. And a lot of pledges to buy, and a lot of pledges to buy into MicroStrategy in particular as well, and his preferred shares. Michael Villa says, be safe on your vacation. Does the bot affect retirees if it makes your income from your own country less? Yeah, of course, it's going to affect the retirees, but it's affecting it at like 1 to 3%. So if you're bringing in, say, $2,000 a month into Thailand, you know, you're looking at pennies literally on the dollars that it's going to make any difference. 3 cents on the dollar for when the bot goes down. It did have a high of 37, but that was after COVID, and the markets are stabilizing right now, and it's sitting just under 32 baht to the dollar. But here's the thing, the Thai baht has always pegged the baht to the US dollar, Michael, and they pegged it at 30 baht to the dollar, and it was that way for a lot of years. Now the fact that it's over 30 baht to the dollar is a plus. Anything over 30 baht to the dollar is a plus. And that's the benchmark. It'll never go below 30 baht to the dollar. And so if that's what I recommend, you equate your earnings from your US dollar to your Thai baht, equated at 30. Anything above that is a bonus. What a Sale says, hello from a cool Corpus Christi, Texas. Happy holidays and thank you. What a Sale. And I would like to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because I won't be here to say it with you. So I'd like to say it now. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all. He goes on to say, hello for, okay, Corpus Christi, Texas. Happy holidays. Yeah, got that twice. Ernie says, good morning, CBD and gang. Good morning, Ernie. How are you, buddy? Roger Walker says, good morning, good evening, Cooper and everyone. Thank you, Roger, for coming on and joining us. Subwoofer says, hello, Cooper. Market is killing me. You got to have balls of steel there, Subwoofer, just like all of us. And what MicroStrategy does affect a large part of crypto because they're the largest holder of Bitcoin on the planet, besides Satoshi, who has 1 million and nobody knows whether he's alive or dead or who he is for that matter. But his wallet has not moved in a very, very long time. So that's why a lot of people think that he's no longer with us. But it's one of those you buy and hold. You'll be happy that you did. Are the predictors right? If Hesse becomes the new Fed chair, I think that you're going to be looking for a minimum of 3 rate cuts next year, each of a half basis point. Why? Well, the government has to refinance, the US government has to refinance $10 trillion in debt in 2026, next year. So ask yourself, if you got a mortgage on a house, what would you rather be paying, 7% or 3% interest on your mortgage? Well, I know which one I'd rather be paying. I'd rather be paying the 3%. And if they don't get that interest rate down, it's really, really going to hurt the economy. And you're going to see the jobs market go down a lot further than what it is today. So I think that's what he's lining up. He's lining up Hesse. And I think that he's going to go in with a mindset of let's cut rates. He's already replaced two in the Fed that are part of the committee that were up for retirement. Their tenure was over. The third one, Pete Hesse, I think that he's going to go in. He's going to do the rate cuts. There'll be a 6-4 in favor as a minimum. And none of that is priced into the market yet. None of it. Everybody's hanging on a thread to see who's going to appoint as Fed chair. Well, maybe that's what Tommy Lee's banking on, that information is going to come out the first week of January, push Powell to cut rates again, because he's already put 2 more nominees in there, and then go forward with big rate cuts after Powell's tenure in May. That's what I think is going to happen. And I hope is going to happen, I'll say, for a better word. And it's just one of those things. You'll hang on. This time next year, you'll either be saying, I'm glad I hang on with you, Cooper, because I'm hanging on. I'm not selling. I'm hanging on. Don't want to sell at the bottom. Never sell at the bottom. And just wait it out. We're only a year away. Either Saylor's going to be right or Kathy Wood's going to be right. One of the two. It's either going to be Saylor and Tommy Lee are right or Kathy Wood's right. There is no middle ground. Patrick says Bitcoin isn't controlled by governments. That's true. A few years ago, the country's finance ministers all met at Davos. I remember that meeting. Very good meeting to discuss a strategy against Bitcoin. After the meeting ended, Bitcoin dropped $6,000. Well, why did it drop $6,000 there, Patrick? It dropped because Jamie Dimon went on TV in Davos and said that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. It's what he said. It's a Ponzi scheme. And a lot of people listen to him and take a lot of credence in what he says. And that's why Bitcoin dropped. And he said he would never buy Bitcoin. He would never buy into crypto. Well, everything the guy said is full of shit. Because what did he do? After he said that, he bought a shitload of shares in MicroStrategy on the dip. And I'm talking millions of shares, not just a couple dozen shares like you and I. He went out and bought millions of shares on the dip and made a lot of money doing it. So Jamie Dimon is one of those that he'll talk down a company in the hope that people listen to him. They sell for fear, get out, and then he buys it cheap and makes a lot of money. That's what Jamie Dimon likes to do. And that's what happened at Davos. I remember it very vividly. Huahin F says the last rate drop did nothing for Bitcoin. I think you're putting too much hope in an interest rate drop. Government's got to refinance. I'm not putting hope in an interest rate drop. I'm putting facts on the line. If America does not get its interest rates down, it's in a lot of big trouble next year. You could very, very well see a recession in the US. A lot of people have been forecasting it's on its way. That's why Trump is pushing so hard to get the right Fed chair in to replace Jerome Powell so he can get those rates down to refinance $10 trillion with a T. 10 trillion. That is 10 times the size of the Bitcoin market cap. 10 times the value of Bitcoin if you took all the Bitcoin together and sold them at today's prices. That's a freaking lot of money. And he's got to get that interest rate down. He's got to get it down to minimum 3%. Minimum. I think he's aiming for 2% personally. And that's why he's got it between the two Petes, I like to call them. And he's going to make it as an announcement based on which one's going to do the most for the American government, which one's going to cut those interest rates hard and bring the debt down from $38 trillion, of which they have to refinance their loan on next year of $10 trillion. Huahin F says MicroStrategy down 11.52% in the last 5 days. It's gone up. It was up last night. It was up, was it up $5? I believe it was. It was up $5. But it's all a welcoming sign. So it's showing that what he's doing in regards to his Bitcoin holdings is holding in strong. And yes, it is at 167.88 per share and up 5.2% for the week. I have the analysis right there that tells you exactly how much they're up and down. So yeah, 5.2% for the week, buddy. 1, 2, 3, it's Mr. JD. Hi. Hey, do you think MicroStrategy can get to 500 soon? Of course. If his dollar cost average for Bitcoin stays low, there's every hope that if Bitcoin goes to 180,000 to 200,000, like Tommy Lee seems to be predicting, yeah, that will put their price around $500 per share at that. If their MNAV goes up to match it, well, then that could very well double it to $1,000. It's not hopium. It's happened to MicroStrategy a lot of times. You just never know whether it's going to be one-to-one correlation or an 88.88 correlation, or it's going to be 3.5 correlation. And it's happened several times, not just once, but multiple times that MicroStrategy's MNAV has hit above 3. So can it get to 500? Oh, absolutely it can. It's just one of those ones that you have to hold. I'm not selling my MicroStrategy. I'm holding it. I think what Saylor's doing is the right thing right now. He's changed the preferred shares of Stretch from 10.25% to 10.75%. And I think the next one for him is to go to 11% return, because he's betting on a 30% CAGR minimum per year for Bitcoin going forward. And he's willing to say 30% of that will go towards paying his preferred shares, dividends. So yeah, I think MicroStrategy can go to 500, and that's probably a reasonable figure. I'm somewhere between the analysts where they said originally 650 and now they're saying 447. I say 500 would be in that range right there, Mr. JD. And I hope it does. I'd be happy all the way to the moon. Mr. Nut says, good morning, Coop. I wanted to wish your channel and subscribers Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you very much. I know everyone will be ripping and running for the holidays, including me and the kids. By the way, did you guys watch our video that we released on Monday? The kids and I were in Malaysia, and Darlene and I were teasing the hell out of the kids, and we were crying and we were laughing so hard. Uh, not many of you watched it. Go back and watch it. I promise you, it's a really good laugh. If you want a good laugh, that was one of our funniest videos we've ever made for the channel. So definitely go back and watch Monday's video. T. Meyer 73 says, good evening from Arizona, people. DCA, dollar cost average, into Bitcoin, Tesla, Solana, and NVIDIA. Very good choice there. I like that, T. Meyer. And just wait 5 to 10 years. If not buying into ETFs, less swing. Merry Christmas, everyone. And those are some very good calls there. Bitcoin, yes, definitely. MicroStrategy in connection with that. Solana and NVIDIA. Yeah, some very good buys. I currently own 3 of them. So yeah, sold my Tesla shares and bought more on the dip with MicroStrategy. Tesla went up enough. I'm happy. And I know it's still going up. It's sitting at like $440 right now. But I said my end of year target for Tesla was going to be, it would max out. The highest it could possibly go this year was 500. And I'm not far off that forecast that I made. Ronald Richard says, hello, CBD and tubers. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you so much, Ronald. Michael Dottie, Coop, do you still believe in yield max? I have to, Mike, because I still believe in Bitcoin. I am a Bitcoin maximalist. I am a MicroStrategy maximalist. I think that Saylor is going to hit 1 million Bitcoin. And when that happens, watch out. But here's the thing. A lot of people are pricing saying, well, Michael Saylor's got 3% of the market. That's not a lot of Bitcoin, 3% out of 100%. But it's not 3%, folks. You got to remember, Satoshi took 1 million Bitcoin. So that leaves 20 million. There's still 1 million left to mine over the next 100 years. So take that million off because it hasn't been mined yet. So now we're down to 19 million. And then you figure the 5 million Bitcoin that's gone missing. People have lost their wallets. People have died and they haven't passed on their seed phrase to loved ones. There's estimated 4 to 5 million Bitcoin that'll never, ever surface, ever. So you're now dropping it from 19 to 15 million Bitcoin. Well, he doesn't then own 3% of Bitcoin. He owns 5% of Bitcoin, if you think of it in that sense. And then you think of all the ones that have bought that are never going to sell because they're making money. They're getting loans against their Bitcoin and the interest on it. They're every 4 years is more than paid off and made even more money. So you got banks lending against Bitcoin. You got companies out there like Freddie Mac that are giving you a mortgage based on your Bitcoin. JP Morgan, the dreaded Jamie Dimon, who said Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. It's worth the weight of a rock. It's worthless. What's he do in the last month? He announces Bitcoin-backed bonds in correlation and business with IBIT. And he still owns a ton of MicroStrategy. So Bitcoin's going to keep going up. The dollar is going to keep going down. MicroStrategy is going to recover because he's the biggest holder on the planet. And I think he's looking at becoming a Bitcoin bank at some stage very soon. And he's shutting up a lot of people. Well, if you believe in Bitcoin and you believe in MicroStrategy, you have to believe in Yield Max with Misty. Yes, it's way down. What do I think the payment's going to be on Friday? 51 cents. That's my guesstimate based on how they've done. I think that's their lowest one to date. If you take in the 5-to-1 stock split, I think if Tommy Lee's right, Bitcoin spikes up. He says, I'll tell you what Tommy said during the interview, Mike. He said, if Bitcoin in January hits a 125,000, which he's forecasting, it's going way above that. He said the 4-year cycle's done. It's dead. It's proved all the naysayers wrong, because never in a bear market has Bitcoin ever hit its all-time high in a bear market. Never in any of the crypto altcoins has a coin ever hit a new all-time high in a bear market. It's just never happened. So if it does hit 125 in January, then we're into a new playing field. And yes, MicroStrategy would run up. It would run up above $400, and then Misty would run up. All depends on how fast Bitcoin goes up, how fast MicroStrategy goes up, because Yield Max Misty is capped on the upside. When there's synthetics, they are capped. They can, they'd have to sell that synthetic and then buy in another one. So they are capped on the upside. If the upside goes up steady, 10% a week, then I can see Misty capturing 7% of that 10% up. If it jumps 30% in a week, I still see them only capturing 7%. So of the 10% that I was forecast. Sorry, I thought my wife wanted me, folks. So it all depends on how quickly it goes up there, Mike. But yeah, I'm still holding. It's still paying me a dividend. I got double the amount that I needed, and as long as it's still paying me, I'm still okay. So I'm not holding selling my Yield Max because we're at the bottom. I don't want to sell it at the bottom. If I'm going to sell it and move into something else, I want to make sure that I break even or make a profit. Robert Pierpont says, keep cutting rates. Your money is worth less. Yeah, because more new money is never a good thing. It creates inflation. And yes, every loan is new money. And they're pumping a lot of liquidity in the market. And people are in the Fed are saying, it's not quantitative easing. It's not quantitative easing. Well, I'm sorry. If you're buying $10 billion of US bonds back, that is quantitative easing. You're injecting money into the system, which is what quantitative easing is. And that's what they had to do on Friday. They had to buy a lot of bonds back. And I think it was in the area of $30 billion they have to buy back this month over the next 30 days. So there is going to be a lot of new liquidity coming into the market. And maybe that's what's got Tommy Lee thinking that Bitcoin's going to rip in January. Time will tell. We're only a month away, so we don't have long to wait, do we, folks? Terry Fallon. Hello, Terry. How you doing, bud? I need to wet the old whistle. Terry Fallon says, hello, Cooper and Darlene. Just wanted to pop on and say, have a great time on your cruise. We'll see you when you get back. And thank you, Terry, from Bancroft, Ontario. See you soon, buddy. Hopefully not too soon. I want to enjoy the holiday. Mike Dottie says, how do you tell when Yield Max high income is sustainable versus when it's just masking long-term NAV erosion? Good question. I'm in it just like you guys. MicroStrategy's NAV erosion has gone, that NAV has gone down, caused erosion. Misty's going to follow suit. It's a play on MicroStrategy. So it's going to follow the underlying irregardless. If you're into Plady and the Palantir is not suffering from NAV erosion, Plady's not going to either. So that's the way to look at it. But will the MNAV for MicroStrategy go back up? Absolutely. Absolutely. 1,000% certain I am that it's going up. Again, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, folks. But I am 1,000% certain that MicroStrategy's MNAV is going up and that we're sitting at the floor. And if Bitcoin makes a run next month, if Tommy Lee says what he says, and it does hit a new all-time high, forget the 180,000. I'm just thinking new all-time high right now would be absolutely freaking amazing. It would blow my head clean off my shoulders. I'd be in that much shock on the cruise ship if all of a sudden I wake up and the Bitcoin's over 125,000. I'd be like, Jesus Christ, thank you so much. But yeah, it's one of those ones that you either believe in it or don't. You have to believe in the underlying stock, Mike. I believe in Bitcoin. I believe in MicroStrategy. Therefore, I have to believe Misty can pull it off somehow. I think it's going to take a miracle, but I think it's a not zero chance that they will pull it off, and my fingers are crossed. So only time will tell. This time next year, we could all be very happy, or Misty can go to zero. Maybe they blow all their freaking money and they're gone and they no longer exist, and there's lawsuits all over the place. Who knows? I don't know. I'm holding it because I think Bitcoin's going up. I think MicroStrategy is going to go up, and it's going to pull Misty. How much it pulls Misty all depends on how fast it goes up. What a Sale says, I saw the visit to Malaysia. That clear bottom on the gondola would have freaked me out, and it did me and the kids. Oh my God. Bunty was like, we're going to die, Dad. We're going to die. Is it bulletproof? No. It was funny as heck. Oh God. I watched it back and I was still creasing up. Darlene and I was sat here on the sofa watching it back on Monday when it landed on YouTube, and the tears are just rolling down my eyes. I called Bunchy and Leanne, said, you're famous, go watch it on YouTube. And they did. They said, Dad, you teased us. Yeah, I did. It was fun. Steve Dye says, morning, Coop. I sold my Misty down $3,000 with dividends reinvested. Okay, that's not too bad. Bought more IBIT with the 1,700 I had left. I still believe in IBIT. Well, you're going to, because IBIT is tied to Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up 1%, IBIT goes up 1%. Bitcoin goes down 1%, IBIT goes down 1%. IBIT is good. Fidelity is good. All depends on which one you want to hold your coins. If you're with IBIT, well, then it's being held by Coinbase. I'm not 100% convinced on Coinbase. If you're with Fidelity, they hold it themselves. I trust Fidelity a lot more than I trust Coinbase. But IBIT did put out some good news that they're looking for a second partner, a leading bank, to start self-custodying the Bitcoin for them. I don't know if there's any update on whether they got them to do it or they're only doing a percentage. Let me know if you know, Steve. I'd be interested. Snowbird says, hello from Alaska. I hit the like button and then turned on the volume. Thank you, Snowbird. Much appreciated. 1, 2, 3. It's Mr. JD for Robert and Ernie. Roll Tide. Enjoy your bike rides, guys. Stace 4444 says, hey, Cooper, Tesla is at 487 at the moment, but it has been up to 491.50 last night. Could hit 500 before the end of the week. Merry Christmas to you, Brooke, and your families. Thank you, Stace. And I did say months ago, those who remember watching the live stream, I said, I think Tesla's going to hit, It's maximum that it will hit. It will be 500 by end of year. I'm not far off. I'm not very far off that prediction. So I'm happy with that. Now let's see if I can get it right on MicroStrategy. The Beach of Life says, in my opinion, we need all this bubble talk in order to get new participants into the market. Sentiment churn is a real thing. Yes, it is. And retail has yet to get involved in the cryptoverse. And I think the retail FOMO could happen. I mean, you think if Bitcoin hit a new all-time high in January, let's say it goes to 126.3 because it was an all-time high was 126.2. And it's still pumping and it's going 127, 128, 129. What do you think retail is going to do? They're going to FOMO in and fear of missing out. So they're going to be buying, and maybe that's what will drive the price to 180 in Tommy Lee's eyes. Fear of missing out. Everybody has that fear. Richard Woolley, this time next year, we'll all be millionaires. There was a famous British TV show called Only Fools and Horses, Richard Woolley, where Del Boy used to say, this time next year, we'll be millionaires. But it did happen in one of the episodes. They found a rare thing in the attic and became millionaires for it. The Beach of Life says, just remember, guys, these are mostly covered call strategies. So understand how that works with the underlying asset falling steadily. Yeah, because they're betting against it. They're selling calls to drive the price down. It drives the price down. But here's the thing. Michael Saylor ain't selling. He's not selling his Bitcoin. He's going out and buying even more. He's even doubled down on his double down, if you know what I mean. And that's what's making me think positive for MicroStrategy. It's if he does this for another 3 to 6 weeks, well, I mean, my God, he's going to be over 700,000 Bitcoin, folks. 700 to 730,000 Bitcoin is what he'll be at if he does it 3 to 6 weeks. That's a lot of freaking Bitcoin. It's going to make its MNAV is like a coiled spring. It's going to make it, just pop. You can only keep a ball underwater for so long before it breaks and it goes to the surface. You ever try and take a beach ball and put it underwater? You can't hold it there for very long. It's going to pop up. And you try and push it down even further. The further you push it down, the harder it shoots back up with a lot more force. So yeah, you're absolutely right there. The Beach of Life. Richard Woolley says, that's from Only Fools and Horses, UK famous sitcom. See, yeah, that was a great show. Absolutely comical. And so was our Monday video that we put on YouTube that a lot of you have missed. So make sure you go back and watch it if you want a good laugh. Don't hold any drink in your hand or don't put any in your mouth because it is going to go flying. That's my promise to you. It was that funny. Robert Pierpoint says, selling BMNR puts that expire in January 27 are paying very good. The $28 strikes are paying $1,050 per contract. That's making a tad over 37% on your money in a year, and you earn interest on all of it. Wow, that's a very good buy there. BMNR right now. So yeah, there is some positive news out there in the market, folks. The job market not looking good. The 4 people that voted against Powell and want to cut interest rates in January, the 2 new people that Trump appointed because the other 2 people retired, is going to make it 6-4. So it's looking like there could be a rate cut in January, a 1/4 point rate cut. I think that would be the last one for Powell's term. I don't think there won't be any more after that. The job markets reports and all the other economy reports came in 2 months late, and it's not looking good. I know he didn't want to cut rates on the earlier this month, but he was voted against. Powell didn't want to cut rates. He wanted to freeze them and leave them where they are. But he was voted against. The consensus was we need a quarter more percent because what we saw 2 months ago wasn't looking good, and there's no indicators that it's improved since then. And so he half-heartedly, okay, I guess we're going to cut 0.25%, but don't expect no more, is what he was saying. And that's what scared the crypto market. What do you mean don't expect more? We need a lot more, is what people are saying all over on national TV. We need more rate cuts. And Powell's sort of, nah, that this is going to be it, quarter, and then that's it for the next term, which is 3 months, 3 months rebalancing that they do. And it did. It scared Bitcoin people. It scared altcoin people, and it scared a lot of the market. Now, with the job reports come out now, it looks a lot worse than what it was 2 months ago. So the fact that they cut 0.25% was right, and it's not showing any improvement. There's not been a mass hiring for Christmas in the US, and there normally is, folks. There normally is. Every year in October time, companies, factories hire for the Christmas season. They need extra staff, people going out buying. Well, they don't have a lot of money to buy now. The inflation, prices, groceries go up, household costs go up, and their spending is less. So therefore, they haven't been doing the big hirings that they have been doing for the subsequent previous years. So with that, I think Powell is going to be hard pressed not to cut rates again in January. That's my thoughts. Anyways, Browntown says, Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy and prosperous new year to you all. Thank you, Brownie. And thank you for inviting us to your wife's birthday party, Jen's birthday party yesterday. Happy 38 years old. So to Jen, and we had a great time. So much appreciated for that. And Merry Christmas to everybody watching. This is going to be a short live stream, by the way, folks, because there's not a lot of comments coming in. The Beach of Life says, I checked the BMNR series. It's selling for $10.50. Okay. With the recent NAV swing low of 24, I'm guessing, November swing low of 24, sorry, I would hesitate to sell puts above that recent swing low. Okay. Well, two different opinions on there between Robert and Jacob, the Beach of Life. See, I remember your name, Jacob, the Beach of Life, one of Calvin's moderators from the Sunshine Shoulders. And that's it. That is the end of the comment. So we're going to sign off and say goodbye. Darlene and I need to pack the suitcases, folks. We have to run off to the bank today. We got to run off to the mall today. Darlene is flying tomorrow, so she's leaving here at 1 o'clock. She's getting a taxi to go to the airport. I then, so she's going to go to meet the kids in the Philippines. And then I have to get a taxi to the airport at 4 o'clock Friday morning. So not too much longer after her. And then we're meeting up at Singapore and then going to the hotel and then straight to Universal Studios before we board the ship on Saturday. And I'm just going to say our goodbyes to those that are on the live stream and say thank you all for supporting Coopersthaiadventure YouTube channel for the last 2 years. It is highly, highly appreciated. Snowbird says, nobody like the like. Pound it, guys. Come on. Do it. It's Christmas. Being a jolly spirit, say, okay, Coop, I'll give you a freaking like. There you go. It's Christmas. Don't ask me again next year. Bah humbug. Robert Pierpoint says, the Beach of Life, but your break even is at 1750, selling 28 strikes. Okay. So there is some upside there from the looks of it. The Beach of Life says, thanks for the stream, Coop. Tell Mrs. Coop we all say hello. Will do. And thank you all for coming on and joining us. Mike Dottie says peace and God bless. You too, Mike. See you all in the new year. Let me get it out. What a sale. Have a safe trip, Darlene. And we have a ton of videos that we've edited. So while you're gone, you'll still be able to watch Cooper's Thai Adventure. We have some properties. We got some walk and talks. We got some adventures, all that to share with you for the next 2 weeks while we're gone. So please watch it and comment, because I will be able to see your comments on the ship. I can't stream on the ship, this one, because it's an older ship and it doesn't have the satellite internet on there. So I won't be able to stream on there, but I can go on to normal internet without streaming. So I'll be able to see your comments and hopefully reply to a few. So until next time, wherever you are, God bless you all and stay tuned.
Woke up in the land of smiles, sun shining bright. Elephants wandering through the morning light. Temples glow with gold, the air's alive. Thailand's magic got me feeling so high. From the markets buzzing, colors so bold, to the stories in the streets, ancient and old. Every corner's got a vibe, it's calling my name. Cooper's out here, and I'm loving the game. Cooper's Thai Adventure, oh what a thrill. Chasing the beauty from the sea to the hills. Cooper's Thai Adventure, can't get enough. Thailand's got my heart, it's the land that I love. It's the land that I love. Golden beaches, sand so soft and white. Crystal waves crashing under starlit nights. Snorkel in the cold, dance in the tide. Every moment's a wave, I just wanna ride. Pad thai sizzling, spice lights up my soul. Mango sticky rice, yeah, it makes me whole. Tom Yum's got that kick, flavor so divine. Thailand's food's a feast and it's blowing my mind. Cooper's Thai Adventure, oh what a thrill. Chasing the beauty from the sea to the hills. Cooper's Thai Adventure, can't get it enough. Thailand's got my heart, it's still my heart. It's the land that I love. It's the land that I love. It's the land that I love. From Chiang Mai's mountains to Koh Samui's shore, every step's a story, I'm craving for more. Smiles all around, the people so kind. Thailand's a treasure that's one of a kind. Floating markets, lanterns in the sky. Festivals that spark like the stars up high. Jungles whisper secrets, rivers carve the land. Cooper's holding Thailand in the palm of my hand. Elephants roam in the sunset's blaze. Every day's a wonder lost in a daze. From spicy street eats to the ocean's embrace. Thailand's a paradise I'll never erase. Cooper's Thai Adventure, oh what a thrill. Chasing the beauty from the sea to the hills. Cooper's Thai Adventure, can't get it enough. Thailand's got my heart, it's the land that I love. So here's to the nights, the sights and the dreams. Thailand's a wonder bursting at the seams. the land of smiles.